It was the week before Christmas, and Jason had just moved into his new rental cabin deep in the woods of Vermont. He'd taken the cabin for some much-needed solitude after a grueling year of city life. The property was picturesque, surrounded by towering evergreens dusted with snow. Despite the beauty, there was an uneasy stillness about the place. The first night was uneventful. Jason lit a fire, unpacked a few boxes, and sipped a hot mug of tea while snow fell gently outside. The isolation was exactly what he needed. He fell asleep to the crackling of the fire and the distant howling of the wind. The second night, however, was different. Just as Jason was settling into bed, he heard what sounded like faint tapping on the cabin's large front window. His breath caught. He lived alone, and the nearest neighbor was over a mile away. For a few moments he lay frozen in bed, straining to listen. Then the tapping stopped. "It's probably just a branch," he muttered to himself, trying to shake the unease. By the third night, the tapping had escalated. It wasn't faint anymore, but loud, deliberate knocks. Jason grabbed a flashlight and cautiously approached the window. But when he shone the beam outside, there was no one there, just the swirling snow. He bolted the doors and checked every lock twice before going to bed, though sleep didn't come easily. The following morning, Jason decided to explore the woods surrounding the cabin. Fresh snow had blanketed the ground overnight, and he quickly spotted something unsettling. Footprints. They were large, unmistakably human, and circled the cabin multiple times. Jason's stomach dropped. Whoever had been outside the night before had stayed close for hours. That evening, Jason set up his phone to record the living room while he slept. He felt foolish doing it, but needed to know what was happening. Around 3 a.m., Jason was startled awake by a loud crash downstairs. Heart pounding, he grabbed a fire poker from the hearth and descended the stairs, flipping on lights as he went. The front door stood wide open, snow swirling in through the doorway, but there was no sign of anyone. Jason checked the phone's footage. The video showed the living room quiet and still for hours, but at exactly 3 a.m., the door had opened, on its own. Or so it seemed. No figure appeared in the frame, but the door had swung open violently, as though someone had kicked it. The next night, Jason decided he wouldn't sleep. He stayed up with every light in the cabin turned on, clutching the fire poker in his hand. Midnight passed without incident. Then 1 a.m. Still nothing. By 2:30, Jason began to think it was all in his head. But at exactly 3 a.m., his phone buzzed with a notification. Motion detected on the porch camera. Jason froze. He hadn't set up any porch camera. He stared at his phone in confusion, a chill running down his spine. The notification included a live feed, and with trembling hands he tapped to open it. The screen filled with a grainy image of his porch. Standing just outside the door was a tall figure, their face obscured by a hood and scarf. They stood unnaturally still, facing the door as though they were waiting. Jason's phone slipped from his hands, clattering to the floor. He scrambled to grab it, but when he did, the live feed was gone, replaced by a simple message: "No camera detected." Panic overtook him. Jason grabbed his keys and dashed out to his car, not even bothering to pack. He scraped the snow off his windshield as fast as he could, hands shaking. But just as he climbed into the driver's seat, he looked up and saw it. Written in the snow on the hood of his car, "I'll see you soon." Jason's scream echoed through the silent woods as he tore down the driveway, leaving the cabin, and whatever had been watching him, behind. But deep down he knew he hadn't escaped. Not really.